Welcome, fellow villagers, to the village review of Iolite Link. It's a true turn-based, highly strategic RPG that Nutaku has listed as directly developed and published by DMM, where they hold a low popularity, just above Otogi in the low 30s, and they've had a collab with Koihime. I'm seeing some high gameplay value here, very promising if given the proper love from Nutaku. The main gameplay is, as said before, highly strategic. Features a strong turn-based system, lending much to Kamihime and Grand Blue Fantasy. Using many of the same systems, including skills having flat X turn CDs, certain skills and builds having more significance than overall rarity, and raids and statuses, to name a few. What Iolite brings to the table, though, are a few base RPG elements on your RPG sandwich, some extra salt on the gacha system, and a bit of quality of life to wash it down. But we'll come back to that. I want to talk about the art and sound direction for a bit. Sound gets a good pass. A couple of battle tracks had me nodding along, and no ear rape to speak of. Art has its good moments, though sometimes you're concerned about someone's pending disability. It's mostly good. Higher quality than we see in many cases around Nutaku. The H scenes are censored, which many may take offense with. Ballsy play. We'll see how it works out for them. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's talk a bit more about those RPG elements. First off, the game has a strong class system that can tell you at a glance usually what a character's focus is. It also has a heavy focus on equips and crafting. Equips in Iolite have skills that further flesh out your builds. What also fuels your builds is the gacha salt mentioned before, Awakening. Awakening in Iolite is basically how many copies of something you have. For characters, this increases stats and unlocks significant passives, making it very important. It plays a more gameplay-centric role in equipment, where it allows you to share inherent passives, higher rarities having more slots. Speaking of awakening equipment, let's talk about the crafting system. The game's crafting runs on a slightly odd but helpful system for newbies. Basically, it counts and uses what you've collected and not what you have on hand. For example, if you collected enough raid equips to craft the next rarity, you could do so while losing nothing, having the required equips awakened and equipped somewhere else, or even sold. Moving on to the economy, crystals are your main premium currency. They're given out rather freely to start, with the focus being on login bonuses, stage clears, and missions. You can also gain them through a rather progressive subscription system called Umeneko, and through the shop as well. Of note about gacha is that we seem to have gotten the good rates, being 3% 6 stars instead of 1%. Fair chance you'll pull at least 1 or 2 for your collection in the first week based on number of times you can roll. There's also a coin gacha, which isn't amazing, but can help early to flesh out your parties. Events seem to be coming through regularly. We've already had our second announced in the span of time the starter login bonuses have been around, and their gameplay follows a pretty simple loop. Each stage drops the character, the equips, which you can craft up, and leveling and or limit break materials. Event characters being very strong right now due to the easy awakening potential. Raids are about what you'd expect. Big boss, time limit, ask other players for help. Better loot if you do it yourself, but in certain cases time is against you. It's currently our most challenging and regularly farmable content so far, with only fire being available right now. There is of course a friend system, but no clans to speak of, and the arena is currently unimplemented. Lastly, I want to touch on skip tickets. These are items they've implemented to allow you to skip playing a stage once you've completed it, a feature many players have asked for in the past in previous games. I find this system wholly unnecessary and intrusive on my gameplay loop. It really shouldn't require currency for this functionality. Overall, it's easy to see what the game borrows from others we know of on Nutaku, but it does present them well, with a large amount of polish and some very nice quality of life. If Nutaku advertises it well, they keep up content at a fast rate and keep players interested, it could very well be a highlight of DMM's global releases that I will be playing. What I do hope to see are more events, better Ume Neko, and a higher supply of skips, to be honest. And that's all for this one, boys. Come join the Village Discord via the link in the description below for continued Nutaku gaming coverage. And until next time, less out.